All right, so it's of course I'm about to timestamp it. It's July 23rd. My solar return is 2026, and it's approximately 3:41 a.m. on that eastern side. We flipped the poles. It might be Western Gregorian calendar. Hear me out. It's my solar return, and shout out to my motherfucking algorithm because it's been on point since I got up around 2 something this morning. So we just gonna keep reacting and keep just bringing light to information that maybe some are not getting or receiving. So as you can see by the thumbnail, it is titled the LHC shutdown is a distraction. Here's what's really going on, okay? So in this video, it says it's going to talk about the LHC may be offline, but Cern never really stopped. While the headlines focused on the Large Hadron Collider shutting down, other experiments including SHIP, Isold, Awake, Phaser, and Dune continued pushing the frontier of particle physics. Is the LHC shutdown just routine maintenance or a distraction from a much bigger search? And then, of course, they're going to examine the evidence, explore the science, and ask the questions few people are asking. I already love it. We're over at Woodward TV 9411. My first time over here on the channel. First time tapping into this video here. Again, my algorithm is on fire. Oh my goodness. I still ain't even stopped to get nothing to drink. Look at my lips. All right, y'all. Let's get into this. Back to you at Woodward TV 9411.
On June 29th, 2026, the most powerful machine ever built by human hands went dark. For almost 2 decades, the Large Hadron Collider smashed particles together at near light speed. It found the Higgs boson. It rewrote textbooks. And then, at 6 a.m., it just stopped. The headlines called it routine maintenance, a scheduled upgrade. Nothing to see here, right? But while the entire world was watching one machine power down, something else was quietly powering up. Let's be clear about something up front. The shutdown is real. It's public. Cern has made it clear that the LHC was going to go offline again, and they've been talking about it for years. But here's the question nobody's asking. Why does one machine get every headline, every news cycle, every viral TikTok, when Cern is running over a dozen other experiments right now that almost nobody's ever heard of? Think of it this way. The LHC is a magician's obvious hand. Loud, flashy, easy to look at. But that's just the trick. The core of the illusion is what's happening in the other hand. So while the public was told to watch the LHC go quiet, Cern's other facilities didn't stop. In fact, they accelerated. An experiment called Awake started its own shutdown a full year before the LHC did, while they were quietly dismantling old equipment to build something new. Isold, one of Cern's nuclear physics facilities, began a total overhaul in December, and new beam systems, new power upgrades were all timed to finish right as the public focused on Cern going silent.
Oh, hi, I'm Liberty Bibberty, and I'm here to tell everyone about Liberty Mutual's great coverage and savings.
And buried in the middle of all of this is a brand new experiment, which was built inside a facility that used to send neutrino beams to Italy during the Cold War. It has a name that sounds like it's just begging you to ask about it. They call it SHIP, Search for Hidden Particles. It's being built, approved, and under construction right now. In the exact window, the public is being told nothing is happening with Cern. Those are the headlines. But Cern is not shutting down. Only a small fraction of Cern is shutting down. A segment of the LHC. Everything else is still running. I see the LHC as the thing that everyone is entertained by, or should I say, distracted by. Because when you look outside of Geneva, across the Atlantic, Fermilab in Illinois has an experiment called DUNE, which sends a neutrino beam over 800 miles underground from Illinois to South Dakota. They're also running something called DarkQuest. And back at Cern, even while the LHC's main detectors sleep, a smaller detector called Phaser keeps watching, built specifically to catch things the bigger machines were built to miss. Different countries, different funding, different governments, all building similar machines at the same time, chasing the same kind of target. Nobody coordinated this in public, so who decided all at once that this is where they should be looking? You see, folks, these labs aren't fishing. They're not just running machines and hoping something interesting shows up. They have a target, a profile, a shape. Physics have narrowed down on paper, years in advance, approximately how much this thing should weigh, how weakly it should interact with normal matter, and how long it should live before it disappears. That's what you call a manhunt with a sketch already drawn. So ask yourself, if they're that specific about what they're chasing, what do they already know that they haven't told the rest of us? Did you know that before a single detector is switched on, years are spent developing mathematical models that predict what researchers expect to find? They calculate the possible mass of a particle. They estimate how often it should interact with ordinary matter. They predict what kinds of decay products it would leave behind, and even determine what the signal should look like among a massive amount of background noise. Entire experiments are engineered around those predictions. Think about that for a moment. Imagine building a camera that only takes pictures of one specific kind of bird that no one has ever photographed before. You don't know exactly where it lives, but you've already decided what color its feathers should be, how large it is, how it flies, and even what sound it's supposed to make. Then you spend billions of dollars designing equipment that ignores almost everything else while waiting for that one particular signature to appear. That's basically how many of these searches operate. The reason they can do this is because researchers develop models based on decades of previous discoveries. If a new particle exists, the equations predict its properties long before anyone has the technology to look for it directly. That prediction becomes the blueprint. The detectors are actually already tuned to recognize something that already has a detailed theoretical description. This is why you'll often hear scientists describe their search in very specific terms. They'll say they're looking for a particle within a certain mass range. They'll describe how rarely it should collide with ordinary matter. They'll know what energy levels might produce it, what decay channels it should follow, and what kind of signals should appear inside the detector if it exists. Even before the experiment begins, there's already a checklist of characteristics they're expecting to see. In other words, they're not looking for just anything, they're looking for something.
You know, sometimes when you're on set all day, you can have a good amount of downtime in between scenes. It turns out now...
Something they've already spent years imagining, calculating, and refining on paper. Every time something gets ruled out, they don't just start over from scratch. They narrow the search even further. They adjust the models and focus on the regions where the mathematics still says the particle could be hiding. Think about this. Most people hear announcements about scientists discovering particles and assume they simply stumbled onto something unexpected. In reality, the search is usually much more deliberate. The framework exists first, and the experiments are built to determine whether nature behaves the way those equations predict. And while you're thinking about that, think about this. If researchers can describe the properties of an undiscovered particle with such precision before it's ever observed, its approximate mass, how strongly it should interact, what signatures it should leave behind, then what in the world gives them that confidence? Who told them to look for it in the first place? These scientists are following a very specific map rather than exploring completely unknown territory. These experiments are not random searches. They're highly focused investigations aimed at finding something that, at least on paper, already has a detailed identity. The detectors may be looking into the unknown, but they're looking for a very particular face in the crowd. And if you were to look a bit deeper into the concept of alchemy, and if you were to look closer at the history of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Corpus Hermeticum, you may be able to narrow it down to just a few very specific particles that they are looking for. And the one particle that stands out that would tie all of this together, that would probably be the axion. Why? Because it was predicted in 1977 from theoretical work. It has never been conclusively detected. It could make up much or even all of dark matter. It's thought to exist everywhere in the universe. It interacts so weakly that trillions could pass through your body every second unnoticed. And to top it off, multiple dedicated experiments have been built solely to find it. I don't know, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just science doing what science does, you know? Chasing down the next big discovery in public, in daylight, no different than it's always done. Or maybe, while the world was told to watch one machine go dark, the real search was just getting started. But that's not for me to answer. That's for you to decide.
Justin, Heidi, J. Coleman, Kathy, Daniel, Sharky, Miranda, OBK. Shout out to y'all, man. For real. Alright, so now we're gonna go over, you already know what we're about to do. Look, flip this drink. I'm not subscribed. Let's go over to the channel and see if we want to subscribe. Woodward TV is well on the way to 500K. Wow. Let's see. In our world, truth is stranger than fiction. As we learn more about our planet Earth, the cosmos, nature, the elements, ancient civilizations, and technologies, science, natural medicine, cryptids, and strange phenomenon, not to mention the great theories of our day, we advance only in our knowledge. All right. So we subscribed. Let's go on over to the videos here. And let's see, as you can see, let's see here. Why does everything cost more? They're preparing for something. A silent outbreak is spreading across America. What everyone missed about the new UFO files, okay? And then if you want to come on over to my channel here, you can come on over to my channel. As you can see, what's uploading is going to premiere today at 4 p.m. It's Black Boy Max pushing the zesty agenda to run away from his own karma. It's Charleston White next to get pew-pewed for exposing the truth about Takeoff's tragic unaliving. Nolan Wells case, all right? We got one video about Tyler Perry and Colin Kaepernick wanting to assist along with every goddamn black motherfucker up there I've seen at this boy's funeral, just up there, just hovering over the mother, and just, that's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Anyway, and then according to this white man, every 6 months they meet up to do rituals and sacrifices, and they have these meetings which they call covenants, which is in your communities. They're called like restrictive covenants. Pay attention. And then let's scroll on down. Minister Jackie O sends a much needed message to JT. Why is young Pharaoh twerking? Okay, first of all, young Pharaoh, what? He's one of the guys that I definitely took notes from about maybe 2 years ago, and I knew something was off then, but you know, when you take your notes, you embrace that they have this knowledge. But then when you have a certain energy, some people take it for love. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's just the knowledge, the information, immaculate that he was given. And even now, even in some of his ranting moments, but what the fuck are you twerking? Oh, anyway. Did Jeezy dodge a bullet by leaving Jenny okay? If you're into tarot divination, you can go on over to the live channels, or you can go over to the playlist. But who is Sekhmet, and what messages will be delivered from that entity? Who are these new spirits, and what messages are coming from the new spirits? All eyes are on you. Everyone is watching, but why? I know you fucking lying. Why are they going through your phone? Again, it's my solar return, July 23rd. Ashe to all the Leos. Ashe to every zodiac sign. Don't forget, you have every zodiac within you, correct? The Leos, we represent that heart, baby. So it's time for the heart. This is the season of the heart, the soul. You gotta tell that truth in order to be free. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.